Hi guys, this is Taser King, and this video is just going to be a little bit about the new Elder Scrolls coming out, Skyrim, and it's going to be some footage of Oblivion, and I'm going to give some tips on Oblivion, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my history with Elder Scrolls. So when I first got into Elder Scrolls, it was a pretty interesting story. My dad was in a GameStop, and he was looking through the used games one day, and this was like years back, and he saw the Elder Scrolls, the one before Oblivion. I don't know which one that was called, but it was the one before Oblivion. Anyways, he got that for Xbox, and he's like, ooh, this game looks like it's gonna be a cool game. So he went ahead and bought it, and I was like, it doesn't look that cool. And I didn't know what it was, I didn't know anything about it. It just didn't look all that, didn't look all that cool. And then all of a sudden he started playing it, and started watching him getting into it, and he really liked it. And so I was like, well, I ought to give it a shot. It looked kind of fun, so I got into it, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good game. So then that kind of got me into it, and then we got Oblivion, and then that was just amazing. So I mean, that game is just, out of this world graphically and story-wise. It's amazing. And I can't wait for Skyrim to come out. The reason I made this video is because I just saw that trailer of Skyrim, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it. It looks amazing, and from what I know and what I can tell, you can use 2 weapons instead of just 1. Now you can use 2 weapons, and apparently you can mix spells together to make them even stronger and use both hands. So that looks really cool. And when it comes out, I'll definitely try to save up money to try to get it and make some videos about it. But yeah. Anyways, and sorry for the high speed in this video. You may notice. If you want to see any of the items, just slow the video down and go frame by frame. Let it buff all the way through first, and then you can go back and slow it down so you can see all the items if you want. I kind of had to speed it up because of the time limit on the video, and I had a lot of footage. So, but anyways, as you can see, I'm pretty organized, and I'm showing 2 different files because I beat the game twice. So you've seen 2 different files of mine so far. One's a level 50, one's a 45. Yeah, I love Oblivion. Cool thing I came up with when I was playing Oblivion was, and this is the tip part of the video, in case you didn't know. If you're just getting into Oblivion and you've been living under a rock and you haven't really played it, there's these gates that you have to go in and close all over the world. Well, when you go in the gates, you fight all these creatures and stuff, and when you get to the top of the tower, close the gate, you get this orb. Well, what I did was, right before you touch the orb to take the orb and close the gate, you save it right before you take the orb. When you're still in the top of the tower, right before you click on the orb, you save it. After you saved it, then you go ahead and take the orb. The orb is going to have an enchantment on it. Now, what you want to do is you want to get random pieces of gear saved up and put them in storage. That way you can later on take those orbs, and those orbs are going to have the highest enchants that you can get in the game for your gear. So you're going to take those orbs and you're going to use them on the gear, and you're going to like make custom gear that way, and you're going to have the best custom gear. And a really good idea is to take a whole bunch of chameleon and make a whole suit out of just 50% chameleon, and then you'll be completely invisible and you can go through the game and do every single mission and everything without even being seen. No enemies will fight you back. You can complete all the missions and you can be completely invisible 100% of the time in the game. It's pretty awesome. Another thing you can do is like a whole suit of health, a whole suit of speed, a whole suit of strength. You pretty much get the gist. So that's a helpful tip. And another tip I'd give is make sure that you use the poisons on all your weapons. Even when you're trying to work on bows, make sure you're using the poisons and make poisons and stuff, because when you use the poisons on your weapons, your enemies are going to go down much faster. Not a lot of people realize that you can put those poisons on your weapons, but that's what they're for. But yeah, I mean, it's a great game, and I just can't wait for Skyrim to come out, and I'm sure you guys can't wait either. It looks like a good game. Can't wait. And yeah, let me see what else about this can I talk about. Yeah, other than that, that's about all I could think of. Oh yeah, just remember when you're like doing important missions and stuff, remember to save constantly in your games. Make multiple files, backup files, so that you can go back in case you mess up. That always helps. And that's the great thing about this game, is you can save it in a point in time, and then you can make multiple files. And if you screw up, or you do something, or you lose something that you wanted to keep, or you did something that you didn't want to do and you want to redo that mission over again, you can go back to that point in time and redo it, so that's a very, very helpful tip for Oblivion. Let's see, I talked about the invisible suits and all that. Yeah, just use the save as your way to get through the game. And make that invisible suit. It definitely helps. And make a suit for endurance or whatever, or fortified or whatever, so that you can carry a lot of stuff. Like enchant every piece with fortify, and you'll be able to carry a lot of stuff. And then put the fortify spell on. I mean, you'll be able to carry so much stuff, and you can just go out and just loot like for hours and hours and never get encumbered or whatever. And then another helpful tip is there's this way that you can make spells when you get higher up through the game or whatever. Definitely use that, and make your own spells. Like a helpful spell that I made is called Life. I named it Life. And basically what it is it gives me health every 6 seconds for 120 minutes or whatever. So all I have to do is click it, and then it stays on me, and it's constantly healing me for like an hour or so. And then every now and then I just click it again, and then I'm constantly being healed over and over without doing it, without doing anything. So enemies can just sit there and hit me all day long, and I won't die. My health just keeps going up automatically, and I don't have to keep healing myself over and over and clicking the healing button. So it's constantly healing me over time. You can do that with weapons too. Put a whole bunch of different spells for low amounts but long time periods on your weapons, so that when you hit people, all those different spells will combine to do more damage over time to your opponents. That's another helpful tip. But yeah, definitely use that tip I gave about the closing the gates thing. So once you go into those gates to close them and you get to the top of the tower, right before you take that orb, save it. And then take the orb and then look at the enchantment on the orb. And if it's not what you need, then you can always go back to that save right before you took the orb, and it'll be a different orb every time. And you just keep going back until you get the orb that you want with the enchant that you want on it. And then once you get the right enchant, then you can enchant the piece of gear that you want to enchant, and it'll be the highest enchant you can get on the game for your gear. And make sure that you're using gear that's very high quality, like glass or that demon armor stuff or something, you know, very high durability armor when you know, put it on there. Don't just use some cheap crappy armor. But if you want to, you can do it for looks, but I mean, anyways, yeah, and just use your houses as safe points and keep very organized. That helps. The more organized you are, the better you're going to be able to find stuff and know where everything is. And like I have, like, as you see in this video, I have like boxes that have like, one boxes have all arrows, one boxes have all potions, and one boxes have all scrolls, and you know, you get the gist of it. It's just keeping organized really helps, and you can just stock stuff up, and then you'll never run out of stuff. And you'll always know, you know, where your stuff is. So like, hey, I need to go work on my marksmanship. Well, where are my bows at? Which house is my bows at? You know, make sure that you have more than one place. That helps too. When you have more than one place, you don't want, like, you can buy all the places, but I'd suggest having like 2 main houses, so that you can go between them and know what stuff is at which house, and you don't get mixed up. If you spread your stuff out through a lot of different houses, then you know you're not gonna be able to find your stuff. So keep it to like 1 or 2 houses, and I suggest the first house you get, and then the house that you can get over at I think it's I can't remember how to pronounce the town, Skindred or something like that. I don't know. It's where you get a maid. It's that house. You'll see it in the beginning part of the video. That house you want houses that have a lot of storage space, basically. But the 2 houses you'll see in this video, those are very good houses to use as far as storing stuff. Let's see, what else? Remember to mix your spells, and basically keep repairing your armor, and make sure the very first thing you level up is your armor thing, so that you can repair your armor without breaking your hammers. That's very important too. And that's about all the tips I can think of. I may think of more. I'll make another video for it if I do. I haven't played the game in so long, like I said, so I don't really remember all the tips, but I hope those tips help. And yeah, like I said, I can't wait for Skyrim, and it's gonna be awesome. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sub, like, fave, later. Taser King out.
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have been out your head. I hold deep in muddy waters. You're practically rady.